ఆర్థిక మంత్రి నిర్మలా సీతారామన్ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. లైవ్ లో చూద్దాం.
Will continue up to December 31st, 2019. I wish this particular line is made absolutely clear. The existing dispensation in textiles, which is MEIS plus old ROSL, will continue up to December 31st, 2019. This is so because a lot of exporters probably have taken orders and they will have to be given a lead time, so we are giving this lead time. However, it equally means that post 31st December 2019, no MEIS will continue. It will only be remission of duties or taxes on export product, and that will completely replace all MEIS from 1st January 2020. So MEIS, I repeat, MEIS, particularly in the textile dispensation, MEIS plus old ROSL will continue only up to 31st December 2019. Now, textiles and all other sectors which currently enjoy incentives up to 2% over MEIS, which is already existing MEIS, over that you had 2%, will transit into RODTEP from January 1st, 2020. In effect, this new one, the RODTEP, will more than adequately incentivize exporters than the existing schemes all put together. So, if we are wondering what this new scheme will do, will it be more or will it be less? Here am I making a clear statement that in effect, the RODTEP, the new scheme which comes into effect from 1st January 2020 for textiles and for all other commerce related products, will more than adequately incentivize exporters than the existing schemes all put together. Revenue foregone projected is up to 50,000 crores. So that is the number which I want you to look at. Approximately, we are saying up to 50,000 crores will be going through this new RODTEP. So that's my first silo for promotion of exports, particularly for those which are going through from textiles and commerce. Very clearly, labor-intensive sectors will get priority. The next silo in boosting exports, the measures that I want to mention here are fully electronic refund module for quick and automated refund of ITC, that is the input tax credits, nearing completion and will be implemented by the end of this month itself. So by September 2019, the fully electronic refund mechanism for the GST ITC refunds will be in place. This is expected to monitor and also to speed up all ITC refunds. So there shouldn't be lockup of funds, disturbing the cash flow for all the small and medium exporters, and therefore refunds on your input tax should be automated and speedy. The third silo in the measures to boost exports is about export finance. This is very important, and I understand post the Board of Trade meeting, the DGFT is here, post the Board of Trade meeting which was held a day or two ago, an indication has been given that this is under consideration. I am glad to announce, and I thank the Commerce Ministry for having put in a lot of effort to get this through. The Export Credit Guarantee Corporation, the ECGC, will expand the scope of ECIS and will offer higher insurance cover. Here I would want to just make sure that some of the numbers can be understood. Higher insurance cover to banks lending working capital for exports. Premium incidence for MSME will be moderated suitably, which is when MSME pay their premium towards guarantee that they receive from the ECGC, the premium that they pay will now be far lesser than what they had paid earlier. It is expected that the initiative will cost about 1,700 crores per annum for the government, but that will be the kind of support we are extending for the ECGC to offer that kind of guarantee for exporters. At the moment, for US dollar-based lending, whatever the prevailing rate be, this might come down by about 4% is our calculation, but I'm giving you a rough picture. And for the rupee, it will be coming down by about 8%. So that is the kind of difference it will make because of this facility that we are extending through the ECGC, and therefore the burden on exporters, particularly when they borrow and take credit and do their business, the burden shall come down. The credit insurance scheme, export credit insurance scheme, will benefit because of this extension of 1,700 crore per annum from the government for the promotion of credit guarantee by the ECGC. So this will enable reduction in the overall cost of export credit, including interest rates, especially to the MSMEs. The next silo is on the priority sector lending norms for export credit. These have been examined and enabling guidelines are under consideration with the RBI. We have had extensive discussion with the Reserve Bank of India on this, and they are on board. I am sure sooner they will also be able to release the necessary notification for this. This will release an additional 36,000 crores to up to 68,000 crores as export credit under priority sector, because banks use this in their basket of lending portfolios. When the priority sector lending category comes with this additional infusion, priority sector lending for export credit will increase, and this will give greater impetus for export sector. Then the next silo under measures to boost exports is the data on export finance is regularly published by the RBI. However, now export finance will be actively monitored by an interministerial working group, so that there is, hopefully, if this is going to immediately make a big difference, this might even look at it on a weekly basis. So interministerial working group is being formed, which will monitor export finance actively, and that will be located in the Department of Commerce. The Department of Commerce will run it, and it will also be tracked through a dashboard, reviewed with institutions, and also with active intervention being carried out where necessary. So the interministerial group will do a weekly monitoring. Export finance will be continuously checked, and also making sure the dashboard is available for everyone to see as to where the money is going and where it is getting clogged up, so that we can help remove any congestion. The next silo on export facilitation is leverage technology to reduce time to export or turnaround time. This is a very important step forward. Technology is further being used so that the initial time which is being taken the time to export that is being taken at each of the ports will come down. For an example, when we were discussing, ports like Boston take 0.55 days only for a turnaround, which is less than half a day. Shanghai takes about 0.83 days, whereas best of India, which is Kochi, takes 1.10 days. Now, we are using technology to make sure all the clearances which are required at every port, and also custom related, and elimination of all offline material, manual services will all be removed, so that quickly our turnaround time at the ports will also reach the global best. So this is a major initiative which we want to push through in this time, so that the best of performance can help in more faster clearances at the ports. An action plan to reduce time to export or the turnaround time in airports and ports benchmarked to the international standards, which is what I read out to you with the examples of Boston and Shanghai, will also be taken up, and it will be completely implemented by December 2019, which is in another 3 months' time, maximum of 2.5 months' time. Actual turnaround time will be published in real time for everyone to see, for each port and airport to push them to improve performance. So that's going to be available for you and me to see, and we can always monitor so that there's a greater sense of competition among ports. An interministerial group again will be made accountable for this. So it's not as if we've directed people, we are just waiting for them to implement it. We shall be monitoring it through an interministerial group. And the last but a very populist and attractive option is India shall hold annual mega shopping festivals, like the way you hear in Dubai, of in an organized large-scale basis and across the country in 4 different destinations. By March 2020 it should happen. The themes shall vary. There shall be gems and jewelry, handicrafts, yoga, tourism, textiles and leather, so that there is a greater push and promotion, a global thrust for immediately for people to come and see and make their connections, make their contacts for large-scale purchases, or for instantly having ideas of connection between manufacturers and sellers. So this mega shopping festivals will enthuse all these small and medium manufacturers of our handicrafts and also who are linked with tourism to benefit from. So in order to boost exports, these are some of the main steps. The 5th silo in my case is the free trade agreements. We'd like to clearly indicate to you and through you the special FTA agreements that FTA agreement utilization mission that we want to launch. What does that indicate? We have several FTAs, and the sense whenever we interact with industry or exporters is that they don't seem to optimally utilize the existing FTAs, leading to periodically, even you from the media have asked us, are you reviewing the FTAs? Here what we are telling you is, for an effective utilization of the FTAs, which already are with us, a senior officer from the Department of Commerce will be set up to monitor an FTA utilization mission. What would he or she do? To work exclusively with the Federation of Export Organization and with the export houses. You know, there are nearly 32 export-related associations, federations which are partly associated with the Commerce Ministry. All of them will be given a clear introduction to how to use all the concessional tariffs that exist in each of the FTA. For want of use, for want of maximum utilization of the concessional tariff which is already built in each of the FTAs, we find that many of the exporters are at a loss. Whereas when we find the other end of the FTA utilizing the features which are given, they tend to better benefit from the Indian markets, whereas our exporters, for want of link or want of awareness or want of understanding the nuance which prevails in the FTA, don't benefit so much. So this mission, with the senior officer heading it, will immediately spend a lot of time looking at how to maximum utilize the concessional tariffs which are built in FTAs, enhance awareness of preferential duty, which is another area where we find many of our exporters are not really optimally benefiting from. So the preferential duty benefits which exist will have to be now widely spread among the MSMEs. So the dissemination of this information and facilitation so that compliance requirements such as the rules of origin, certificate of origin can all be much more streamlined, methodically used, and the exporters are not left to fend for themselves. And this will be available for the importers and exporters, and the set goals for FTA utilization are also put in place so that effective FTA monitoring system can be run. So this will come into play immediately so that any MSME, any exporter who wants to benefit from greater information can utilize the service. The other matter is on the origin management system. We find that most often under the rules of origin, most of our exporters suffer. For exporters to enable them to obtain certificate of origin, there will be origin management system which will be launched in the next few weeks by the DGFT. I'm glad that DGFT is here. If you have any questions, he can also answer. And this will be in collaboration with export inspection councils, because they play a very critical role in this. So the DGFT together with the Export Inspection Council will activate this. This is expected to significantly improve ease of doing business for the exporters. So that's about the free trade agreement. And the fifth silo, the last but one for the export measures, time-bound adoption of mandatory technical standards. This is an area which I'd like to highlight to all of you all. There shall be time-bound adoption by industry of all necessary mandatory technical standards and their effective enforcement to elevate the quality and performance of the ecosystem, enhance competitiveness and address the issue of substandard imports. I need not, I'm sure all of you are aware, I need not underline the importance of this particular measure. Whilst it's important for quality determination of our export products, most often the imports which come in and the quality